You clicked on this video because you want to know why 99% of founders fail. The answer is pretty simple, but it's also not what you think. It has almost nothing to do with their business plan. We're all told that the first step is to create a perfect 50-page document, market analysis, financial projections, competitive landscape. We believe this plan is the key to success. But after years of seeing this play out, I've realized the entire premise is kind of wrong. We're told to perfect the task of writing the plan when we should be mastering the system, which is our mindset. For 99% of founders, the business plan is the anchor that sinks the ship before it ever leaves the harbor. The real reason they fail is a flawed mindset, not a flawed plan. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 essential mental shifts that separate successful founders from the ones who stay stuck in the planning phase forever. The first mental shift is to embrace imperfection, not paralysis. We are taught to polish everything until it's flawless. Honestly, this was my fatal flaw for years. I knew our old habits were disastrous because we were perfectionists, always second-guessing every detail. But in entrepreneurship, perfection is a fantasy. It's a fantasy that leads to paralysis. The truth is, launching with an 80% ready plan is infinitely better than never launching with a 100% plan that only exists in your head. Think about it. Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, famously said, "If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late." Successful businesses don't start perfect. They start, they pivot, they adapt, and they evolve. Your first step is to give yourself permission to be imperfect. But giving yourself permission to be imperfect is pointless if you don't make this next most critical shift. You must transform from an idea collector into an action taker. In a past video, I talked about the trap of being an idea seeker. This is its close cousin. Having a notebook full of brilliant ideas feels productive, but it's a passive illusion. The real magic, the real progress, only happens when you move from thinking to doing. Momentum is built on small, consistent action. Analysis paralysis is real, so you have to break it down. Don't think, "I need to build an entire e-commerce store." Instead, think, "Today, my only goal is to research one potential supplier." Or, "I will sketch one page of my website on a piece of paper." These tiny actions demystify the process. They build the momentum you need to see the very next step. Once you start taking action, you're going to be building something. And this is where so many new founders make a fatal mistake in their thinking. The third shift is to focus on the value you create, not just the product you sell. It's so easy to fall in love with your own solution or your app or service. But customers don't buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. You must shift your thinking from "what am I selling?" to "what pain am I healing?" or "what desire am I fulfilling?" I saw this firsthand in a meeting that changed how I see business forever. CEO was convinced he needed a new CRM and spent 20 minutes listing features. My partner just listened. Then my partner asked one simple question. "If we get you the perfect CRM with every feature you just listed, what problem does that really solve for you?" After a long pause, the CEO admitted his revenue was unpredictable and he was terrified of his next board meeting. He didn't need a CRM, he needed stability. We weren't selling software. We were solving the fear of a bad board meeting. A business plan can't give you that. Only a deep focus on your customer's human problem can. Now, even if you're focused on value and taking small actions, there's a huge monster that stops people in their tracks. The monster is the fear of risk. This leads to the fourth mental shift. You must redefine risk. This is where your inner system can hijack you. Fear of risk freezes us. But here's the truth. Inaction is also a risk. Every day you wait, the market changes, a competitor might emerge, or your own passion might fade. That's a huge risk. The goal isn't to be reckless, it's to mitigate risk through small, calculated experiments. Instead of quitting your job to open a restaurant, can you test your recipes at a weekend's farmer's market? Instead of building a complex app, can you build a simple landing page to see if anyone signs up? You have to see every challenge not as a roadblock, but as a chance to learn something for a very low price. But okay, let's say you started taking small, calculated risks. You're putting your imperfect product out there. What happens when people tell you it sucks? This is where the final, crucial shift comes in, and I struggle with it too, but you must cultivate a growth mindset for feedback. Setbacks and criticisms are not personal attacks. They are data. In fact, they are the most valuable data you will ever receive. Your early customers aren't there to validate your ego. They are there to validate your idea. If they tell you what's wrong, that's a gift. It's a roadmap to making your product better. The ability to iterate and adapt based on market response is far more valuable than stubbornly sticking to a vision that isn't working. So it's not the business plan. The reason 99% of founders fail is because they get stuck. They get stuck chasing perfection, collecting ideas, falling in love with their product, fearing risk, and dreading feedback. The successful 1% do the opposite. They embrace imperfection, they take action, they focus on value, make small bets, and treat feedback as data. This mindset is your true foundation. It's the system that will drive you through the uncertainty and challenges that every entrepreneur faces. But the learning doesn't stop here. As you start applying this, I know new specific questions are going to come up. To help with that, I've put a link in the description where you can directly submit any questions you have. I personally read every submission to decide what to cover in future videos. So to make sure you don't miss the video that answers your question, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. And finally, if this video was helpful, giving it a like is a huge help. It tells the algorithm this was valuable content and that I should make more like it. Thank you for watching.